You have asked yourself this question in the silence of your room, Haven, not you. What? Why does your kindness feel like a repellent? Why does the woman you treat with the utmost respect, the one you listen to, the one you support, eventually look at you with eyes that are glazed over with boredom, while she gravitates effortlessly toward the man who treats her with indifference? You send the text. You wait. You calibrate your words to be safe, to be supportive, to be good. And in return you receive silence. Or worse, you receive that polite, distant friendliness that is the graveyard of desire. You have been told your whole life that if you are a good man, if you provide, if you care, you will be rewarded with love. That is the lie that has turned you into a ghost in your own life. If you are looking for 5 quick tips to send a text message that triggers a dopamine response, leave now. Close this video. Go back to the shallow waters where you feel safe. This conversation is not for the tourists of psychology. It is for the few, the rare, the lucid who are tired of hemorrhaging their dignity. If you are ready to burn the script you were given at birth, subscribe. If you are brave enough to face the abyss of your own inadequacy, if not, disappear. The algorithm prefers the sleepwalkers anyway. The meeting of 2 personalities is like the contact of 2 chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Carl Jung said this. But he did not tell you what happens when one of those substances is inert. When one of those substances has no weight, no gravity, no shadow. That substance is you. You have been trying to negotiate desire using the currency of servitude. You believe that if you do enough, if you are present enough, you will be chosen. But the brutal truth, the code that remains hidden in plain sight, is that desire is not built on presence. It is built on the tension between presence and absence. It is built on the suspicion that you might not actually need her. And right now you reek of need. You smell of desperation. And nothing kills the instinct for union faster than the scent of a man who has no other option but to stay. Let us dismantle the stage you have been performing on. You think you are being romantic. You think you are being a modern, evolved man. But if we strip away the moral veneer, if we look at your actions through the cold lens of biology and power dynamics, what do we see? We see a transaction. You are not giving your attention freely. You are investing it with the expectation of a return. You are trading your compliance for her validation. You have become a beggar holding a golden bowl, unaware of your own wealth, asking for scraps of affection from someone who is looking for a king. This is the theater of validation. You have learned to act. You have learned to suppress your darker impulses, your aggression, your disagreement, your spine, because you are terrified that if you show your true face, you will be abandoned. This is not virtue. This is cowardice disguised as morality. Nietzsche warned us about this. He spoke of the taming of man, the reduction of the beast into a predictable, harmless animal. And that is what you have become to her. Harmless, predictable. Safety is necessary for a long-term partnership, yes. But safety is the antithesis of desire. Desire requires a precipice. It requires the unknown. It requires a man who is capable of chaos but chooses order. You have offered only order, and a weak order at that. You answer every call immediately. You agree with every opinion. You apologize for things you did not do. You are constantly monitoring her emotional state to adjust your behavior. You are walking on eggshells, believing that this careful treading is proof of your love. It is not. It is proof of your terror. You are terrified of conflict because you do not trust your ability to survive it. And she knows this. She feels it in the subtext of your body language. She feels it in the hesitation of your voice. Women are the supreme readers of microsignals. While you are worrying about the logic of your words, she is reading the energy of your intent. And your intent is screaming, "Please do not leave me. Please tell me I am good. Please validate my existence." This places a burden on her that kills attraction. You are asking her to be your mother, your judge, and your God. No woman wants to be the god of a man who kneels too easily. She wants a man who stands. A man who has his own center of gravity. When you make her the center of your world, you lose your orbit. You crash into her, suffocating the very space where desire needs to breathe. You have to understand that your excessive availability is not seen as generosity. It is seen as a lack of value. If you are always there, it implies you have nowhere else to be. It implies you have no mission, no purpose, no other options. Scarcity creates value. This is the fundamental law of economics, and it is the fundamental law of the heart. You have flooded the market with your presence, and the value of your stock has crashed to zero. Where does this come from? Why is it so hard for you to just be? Why do you feel this itching anxiety when there is silence between you and her? We have to go back. We have to look at the architecture of your psyche. Most men today are raised to be nice boys. We are rewarded for compliance. We are taught that anger is bad, that selfishness is a sin, that we must share, we must listen, we must be gentle. These are not bad traits in isolation. But when they are enforced as the only acceptable mode of being, they amputate the masculine spirit. You learned early on that love was conditional. If you were the good boy, you got the smile. If you were the difficult boy, you got the cold shoulder. You internalized a script that says, I must earn my place in this world by being useful and pleasing to others. You brought this script into your adult relationships. You are still that little boy performing for the smile of the mother archetype. You are terrified of the cold shoulder. So you overcompensate. You give before you are asked. You fix problems that are not yours to fix. You sacrifice your own needs to accommodate hers, thinking this makes you a martyr. It makes you a doormat. And here is the dark psychology behind it. You are trying to control her. Your niceness is a covert contract. You are thinking, if I am this perfect, she will never have a reason to leave me. You are trying to remove her agency, her ability to choose, by burying her under a mountain of obligation. It is manipulative. It is dishonest. And deep down you resent her for it. You resent her because you are doing all this work and getting nothing in return. This resentment leaks out. It comes out in passive-aggressive comments. It comes out in a sudden withdrawal. It comes out in that look of wounded victimhood that is so repulsive to a woman who wants a strong partner. You are hollow. That is the hard truth. You are hollow because you have outsourced your self-esteem. You have handed the remote control of your emotional stability to someone else. She texts back, you are high. She ignores you, you are low. You are a leaf blowing in the wind of her whims. How can she respect a man who has no roots? How can she desire a man who collapses the moment she withdraws her attention? She cannot. She might pity you. She might use you for comfort, but she will never burn for you, because fire requires fuel and you are water. You are a diluted version of a man, pouring yourself into whatever shape she demands. Now we arrive at the code, the hidden mechanism that you have been ignoring. The code is this: presence is only valuable if it is voluntary and if it is capable of being withdrawn. If you cannot leave, your staying means nothing. If you cannot say no, your yes means nothing. We live in a world of hyperconnection. We are always on. The blue light of the screen is the campfire of the modern age, but it gives no warmth. In this world of constant noise, silence is the ultimate luxury, and silence is the ultimate power. The man who can be silent, who can sit in the void without rushing to fill it with nervous chatter, is the man who holds the frame. Think about the men who have captivated history. Think about the archetypes of the outlier, the cowboy, the philosopher, the monk, the dangerous leader. What do they have in common? They are not frantic. They move at their own pace. They speak only when necessary. They have a secret garden, a world inside them that is not open to the public. This mystery is magnetic. When you tell a woman everything, when you vomit your entire internal world onto her on the first date, you kill the mystery. You become a solved puzzle. And a solved puzzle is put back in the box and put on the shelf. You need to cultivate the art of absence. This is not about playing games. This is not about the childish tactic of waiting 3 hours to text back just to be annoying. That is reaction. I'm talking about action. I'm talking about actually having a life so engaging, a mission so consuming, that you genuinely do not have time to sit on your phone waiting for a notification. When you are building an empire, whether that empire is your career, your body, your art, or your mind, you are unavailable. And that unavailability is real. When you are with her, be with her completely. Look into her eyes. Listen to her soul. Be the rock in her chaotic sea. But when you are gone, be gone. Do not hover digitally. Do not watch every story she posts within 30 seconds. Do not like every picture. Let her wonder what you are doing. Let her imagination work for you. The human imagination is the most powerful aphrodisiac in existence. When she is not with you, she should be creating a version of you in her mind that is 10 times more compelling than reality. But she cannot do that if you are constantly pinging her phone, reminding her of your mundane existence. You must become the unmoved mover. Aristotle spoke of this, the force that moves the universe but is itself not moved. In the dynamic of desire, you must be the mountain, not the weather. Her emotions are the weather. They will storm, they will shine, they will rain. If you change your state based on her weather, you are weak. If you remain the mountain, solid, unperturbed, dangerous but present, she will find safety in your shadow. She will come to you for shelter. But if you are running around trying to catch the rain in a bucket, you look foolish. Why do the so-called bad boys win? Why does the man who seems a bit cruel, a bit distant, a bit selfish, often end up with the woman of your dreams? It is easy to dismiss this with moral outrage. It is easy to say she is damaged or he is a jerk. But that is a lazy analysis. That is the analysis of the loser who wants to protect his ego. The truth is more brutal. The bad boy wins not because he is bad, but because he is sovereign. He prioritizes his own reality over hers. He does not apologize for his desires. He does not ask for permission to exist. He is authentic to his nature, even if that nature is dark. And there is a profound relief in being around someone who is authentic, even if they are difficult. At least you know what you are dealing with. With the nice guy, the pleaser, there is always a sense of deception. You never know what he is really thinking. You never know when the bill for his kindness will come due. The dark triad traits, narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, are attractive in short bursts because they mimic competence. They mimic strength. The narcissist has unshakable confidence. The Machiavellian has strategic intelligence. The psychopath has no fear. Now, I'm not telling you to become a psychopath. That is the path of destruction. I'm telling you to integrate the shadow of these traits. You need the confidence to believe you are the prize. You need the strategy to understand the game you are playing. You need the fearlessness to walk away if you are disrespected. This is the integration of the shadow that Jung spoke of. A man who has not integrated his capacity for mayhem is not a virtuous man. He is merely a weak man. You must be capable of being dangerous. You must be capable of cutting ties. You must be capable of saying the hard truth that might hurt her feelings but saves the relationship. You must be willing to be the villain in her story for a moment, in order to be the hero of your own life. When you stop fearing her disapproval, you become free. And a free man is the most intoxicating thing on this planet. Most men are slaves. Slaves to their bosses, slaves to their impulses, slaves to the approval of women. When a man steps out of the slave quarters and stands tall, the world notices. The women notice. They might test you. They will throw shrapnel at you to see if you bleed. They will try to shake your frame to see if it collapses. This is not malice. This is a quality control test. She needs to know if you are strong enough to handle her chaos. If you crumble, you fail. If you stand firm, if you look at her with a smirk that says, "I see your game and I am not playing," she will surrender. Not out of defeat, but out of relief. Finally, she thinks, "A man who can handle me." I'm going to tell you something I have never said out loud. A few years ago, I was you. I was the architect of my own misery. There was a woman. She was everything I thought I wanted. And I became nothing to have her. I molded myself into the perfect shape. I was available. I was kind. I was understanding. And I watched in slow motion as the light went out of her eyes when she looked at me. I remember a specific Tuesday. It was raining. The kind of rain that feels like the sky is sweating cold anxiety. I had sent a message at 6 p.m. A simple question. A bid for connection. 7 p.m. Silence. 8 p.m. I saw she was online. 9 p.m. My chest felt like it was being crushed by a hydraulic press. The voice in my head started the loop. What did I say wrong? Is she with someone else? Why am I not enough? By 3 a.m. I was sitting on the floor of my kitchen. The tiles were freezing against my legs. My phone was lying face up on the floor like a dead insect. And I realized, with a clarity that felt like a knife in the gut, that I was pathetic. It was not her fault. It was never her fault. She was just reacting to the vacuum I had created. I had abandoned myself long before she abandoned me. I was a ghost haunting her life, begging to be seen. That night, on that cold floor, something in me died. The boy who needed to be patted on the head died. The pleaser died. I decided that I would never again betray my own soul for the sake of a text message. I decided that I would build a life so dense, so rich, so full of my own purpose, that a woman would have to work to enter it, not the other way around. I stopped running. I stopped chasing. I started building. And do you know what happened? 6 months later, she called. She said I seemed different. She said I seemed distant. She wanted to know where I had gone. But by then I was already gone. Not because I was playing a game, but because I had found myself. And once you find yourself, you realize that you do not need anyone else to complete you. You only want someone to share the overflow of your own completeness. This is the only way back. You must return to the center of your own universe. This is not narcissism. Narcissism is obsession with the self-image. Sovereignty is ownership of the self-reality. You must become the protagonist of your own movie. Right now, you are the supporting actor in hers. You are the sidekick waiting for a line. Stop it. Write your own script. What do you want? What are your values? What are your non-negotiables? If she crosses a line, do you have the courage to walk away? If you do not, you have no power. The person who is most willing to walk away holds all the power in any negotiation. In relationships, this is the law of the least interest. But you cannot fake this. You cannot pretend to be willing to walk away while secretly praying she begs you to stay. You have to actually be willing to lose her. You have to accept the solitude. You have to make friends with the silence. You have to look into the mirror and like the man staring back at you, even if no one else does. When you achieve this state, a strange paradox occurs. The things you chase start chasing you. The validation you craved becomes irrelevant, and because it is irrelevant, people start giving it to you. It is the cosmic joke. The universe withholds what you are desperate for and gives you what you no longer need. You need to become dangerous again. Not physically violent, but metaphysically dangerous. You need to be a man who has options. A man who knows his worth not as a mantra he repeats in the mirror, but as a factual reality based on his competence and his character. Work on your body until it commands respect. Work on your mind until it fears no idea. Work on your finances until you are beholden to no master. And then, when you approach a woman, you are not approaching her as a beggar. You are approaching her as a king offering an alliance. You are saying, I have this kingdom. It is great. It is peaceful. It is exciting. You are welcome to visit. You are welcome to stay if you add value. But if you bring drama, if you bring disrespect, the drawbridge will go up. And I will sleep soundly inside my castle, with or without you. That is the code. It is not a pickup line. It is not a technique. It is an ontological shift. It is a change in the very nature of your being. It is the move from the periphery to the center, from the object to the subject, from the prey to the predator of your own destiny. Most men will watch this and do nothing. They will nod, they will feel a momentary spark of rebellion, and then they will go back to checking their phone, back to apologizing, back to the slow suicide of the nice guy. They are addicted to their own slavery. They are afraid of the cold air of freedom. But you are still here. The video is almost over and you are still listening. That means there is a part of you that is awake. A part of you that remembers who you were before the world told you to be small. Listen to that part. Feed that part. Starve the weakness. Feed the strength. The next time you feel the urge to send that double text, stop. Put the phone down. Do 10 push-ups. Read a page of Aurelius. Stare at the wall. Do anything but betray your own sovereignty. Sit in the anxiety until it burns off. It will hurt. It is supposed to hurt. That is the death of the weak self. Let it burn. And when the smoke clears, you will see that you are still standing. You will see that the world did not end because you chose yourself. You will see that for the first time in a long time, you are free. If this video was a mirror you did not want to look into, good. That means it worked. If you felt the knife twist, it means you are still alive. Do not waste this pain. Use it. Build something with it. If you are one of the few who actually understands what was said here, if you are ready to stop being a prop in someone else's play, then leave a comment below. Write simply, I am the unmoved mover. Let that be your contract with yourself. Like this video if you want the algorithm to show it to other lost souls, or do not like it and keep this knowledge for yourself. It makes no difference to me. I will be here in the trench waiting for the next time you decide to wake up. Subscribe if you dare to walk this path again. The road is lonely but the view is clear. Until the next silence.